Hi friends, it's Vanessa. Okay, so I am going to show you how I style my hair. I washed it this morning and I had it in a bun and I let it air dry mostly, but I want to show you guys a little trick. If you have any strong cowlicks or growth patterns like that or like this that you don't want to lift like that, you've got to blow dry them first. So if you've let your hair dry, get some water, spray pretty liberally in those spots. My hair's almost dry except for those spots now, of course. Now after I washed my hair, before I combed it out, I used a few squirts of Amika the Wizard. It is a leave-in conditioner, it's a heat protector, it dries your hair, helps your hair dry faster, and all around great product. But I did already spray that on. Now in those spots that I want to smooth out, I'm going to spray a little bit of this. This one's called Lanza Bounce Up Spray. It is a anti-static volumizer. It's really light, so you can put it in damp, even almost dry hair, and it'll give you some volume. It'll help get your curl to hold better too. So, sprayed that. I want to show you how to flatten this out. So if you wanted more of a swoopy bang versus that lift that I have right there, you've got to do it first. So you either need a brush or a comb. I think I'll do this on low so it's not too loud. So I'm brushing in the opposite direction and I'm kind of going back and forth, and I'm going to get it really flat, okay? And I'm blowing it straight down. You should, if you don't use your nozzle, you definitely should. It protects from that heat being right next to your hair. Okay, so now that I've got that cowlick out, do you see how now it's not lifting up? I'm going to want to dry it all the way, but now if I wanted to do a swoopy bang, I could. I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to try to get rid of that cowlick and that separation that I get really bad right there. Okay, so now that I've got my hair completely dry, you can see that I've smoothed that cowlick out a lot. So if I want to do a little swoopy thing, I can. And I can kind of move pieces around. If I wanted this piece over here, maybe I'll blow dry that a little bit more over there. But it looks like it kind of wants to go there. So we'll go with that. And you can see that I've really helped that area that separates right there. So I'm just going to repeat this. It's awesome to let your hair air dry because heat is what causes so much damage in hair. So I think that's great. But if you don't smooth these out, these areas that you have problems with, whether it's your bangs or a cowlick or anywhere that you might have, if you have an extra curl or something here, if you don't smooth those out from wet, it's never going to smooth out. If you wet it and you start to blow dry it and it's almost dry, not completely dry, it's still damp, and then you think I'm just gonna let the rest air dry, it's gonna kink right back up. It's gonna revert back. So you really have to make sure that whatever area you're doing, like for me it was this area and this area, dry it completely, okay? So my hair is completely dry. Now we're gonna style it. I've got my curling iron heating up. I use a traditional curling iron. This is not a Marcel iron. They're a little bit more difficult to use. This isn't the curling rod, which are wonderful, but you can use your traditional curling iron and get the same effects as a rod, and I'm going to show you how. So I've got mine set to 370. The temperatures definitely vary, and it's going to vary on how fragile your hair is, how high you're going to want that. So like I said, when it was wet, I used the Wizard. When it was slightly damp, I used some Bounce Up spray. And I like to use a texture spray of some sort. This one's called the Shield Style Extending Spray. This is also a mica. This just gives me a little bit more holding power, keeps my curl in there better. And especially the longer your hair is, the less layers you have, it can really drag out. So I'm going to spray that. It's a really fine mist. And it's not hairspray. It doesn't have hold in that way. So you can comb right through it. And I think since it kind of wants to go that way, I'm going to go with that. So there's a lot of ways you can do this. For me, I like to kind of do this section first, and that's because of that crazy cowlick that I have there. So I like to give this a little bit of lift. And I always have a duckbill clip or some sort of clip around. I'm going to take my curling iron, I'm going to put it in real close to my root, not touching my scalp. Don't want to burn my scalp, you guys. And then I'm just going to kind of drag it through. I think I'm going to do some bigger, looser waves today. But I like to do this piece first, and then I kind of just wrap it around my finger a little bit. And then I put this duckbill clip in there, and it helps it cool and give me that height right there. So I'm gonna leave that alone. And I always tend to leave my bangs out till last too. I've been growing them out, so they're not quite bangs anymore. But you can take pretty big sections if they're kind of thin. And my hair's probably medium fine. I don't have a ton of hair, but I put it in at the root. One of the tricks is always have that tip of your curling iron pointed towards the ceiling. And then you just kind of let it fall out. And if you don't like the way the end looks, like that one just looks like it's a little frizzy, I'm just going to kind of smooth the iron over it. And I never comb my fingers through these or brush through these until it's cooled off. That helps set it in place too. If you curl one and it's really way too curly for you, run your fingers through it really quick and it'll soften it up a lot. So I put it in pretty close to my scalp, but not touching my scalp. And then I just kind of tap on this and weave it and turn as I'm going, kind of weave it in there. And if you want some variation, you can do one back, one forward, couple back, couple forward, whatever you want. Just make sure that the tip of the curling iron is facing the ceiling. You can do this pretty quick. I think my hair usually takes about 9 curls. So kind of 4 on each side. Let's do this one forward too. So what other tips can I tell you guys? Things that seem normal to me, I know sometimes aren't what you guys were taught. Not that what you were taught is wrong, but you might just find another different way that works a little bit better for you. What I like about this technique too, and making sure that the tip is always facing the ceiling, is that I'm not like contorting myself and holding my hand and my arm in awkward positions. So I don't want to hurt myself. So I'll put that in kind of close. This one I'm going to do forward, and then I think I'll do the next one's back. Now I just want to show you real quick. If I was to hold the curling iron the other way and I tried to do this weave thing, here's what happens. It all falls out. So that's why facing it up here is so much easier. And if you don't want your ends curled as much, you can just kind of slide it out at the end. You don't have to actually curl those ends. And I'm still getting used to these. I'm not really sure. Sometimes I kind of curl them back and blend them in. Maybe today I'll leave them a little bit straighter and see how that looks. This one, let's split this in two. And we'll do this one back. And maybe I'll just smooth this one and see how it looks. We can always go back if it's strange. Yeah, see, I don't know, that might be a little too straight on the ends. There, that's probably better. Okay, here's another trick. Because I feel like my part's going to be there whether I want it to or not today. I'd have to work at it. If you want a little bit of lift, put your curling iron in, but see how there's some hair covering the top of it right there? Just kind of bend it at your root a little bit and then pull it out. See how it lifted away from my scalp? And I just kind of lightly tap this to loosen it while I'm pulling it out so I don't snag all my hair. This side I don't really need it because I have more hair over here, but just so you can see. Okay. So I think that's good. Now a lot of times I'll just leave it and let it cool. Sometimes I'll use some of my Lanza healing oil hairspray. This one's really light. It actually has some oil in it, so it doesn't dull your hair. It creates a lot of shine. Oh, look, I missed a piece. Let me get that. All right, and let's take this puppy out. Now, I like to tease this one a little bit. I'm not going to give myself too much of a bump today. But this is my Tangle Teaser brush. Love this brush. It is the best detangler I've ever used, and it's the best teaser I've ever used, and I didn't even put any hairspray up there. So, I mean, look at that. That's kind of crazy. And then what I was blow drying with, this is the wet brush, and this is an Epic Professional. And it is also a great detangler, but it's amazing for blow drying. It's my favorite. Everything it goes through very easily. Okay, so this was that piece that I curled at the top, and I don't like the way the end looks. So I'm just gonna smooth that a little bit. Let's see, yeah. We'll give it a little bit more curl and kind of at the same time smooth out that little frizz. Okay, so I can tease this section. I can smooth that down a little bit. I always tease from behind and then take really lightly, kind of brush over it so it covers up what you tease. So you don't see that knotty tease. Can you see that? And then, now that it's all cooled, I'm just gonna run my fingers through it. And I'm not sure about these. Maybe I'll just do that. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. All right. So if you guys want more videos like this and you have questions, please ask away and I will try to address them. I'll try to do videos that maybe you're asking for, maybe an updo video or a bun or something easy. But if you want to see more videos like this, follow me on my YouTube channel, which is Beauty Bone Deep. It's Vault 518, Beauty Bone Deep. And also on Facebook, my Facebook group is, my business page is Vault 518, and then I have a page dedicated to just makeup, and that one is Beauty Bone Deep. Please request to join those, and you can get a lot more beauty tips like this. So I hope you guys get some value out of this. I think it's pretty cute. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great day.